yesterday I was talking to one of my friends. She works for Google and YouTube, and she was talking about other people I know and saying that some of them need to kind of be wary how they engage with people in YouTube. Like some of them are rude because now they're grown. And I was just like, I've warned the people you've mentioned in the past about the place you are now. They could just take it. So now you feel like you're somebody, but don't realize it's the machine behind you that is making you who you are. So it's not your natural network, if you get what I mean. So
you're almost like still an employee.
There you go. It's annoying because how I'd rather be all the time is not how I can be to reach where I need to be. So it even goes back to jumping on YouTube. Like, you're very good at picking out questions and filling out the gaps of, you know what I mean, the conversation. So stick with that lane. I said to him, I'm better at talking on other people's pods than mine, because I don't want mine to be focused on me.
Yeah.
And even sometimes when he's trying to ask, oh yeah, Chiz, what? I'm like, shift it back to them, man. Okay. Right? I want to hear more on them and be in the...
Yeah, you've got a very, I would say, unique hosting style, where you hover rather than engage. And Gabriel does sort of take a lot of the like question asking and sort of driving the conversation. And I thought, like, in terms of Wes as well, probably because I am one of the people that watches your channel maybe more often than a lot of other people do.
Yeah.
You've got some of your audience is like young people. Yeah. And they're actually getting exposed to this information. And I always really like the fact that, you know, your channel was providing that to youth. Yeah. Because there's not much out there for them to kind of like find a lane. And it was actually something I was going to ask you, because I think most people might assume that because you're friends with Simeon, who's got, I don't know, 5-8 million followers on Instagram, because you're friends with Marvin, who's got 3 Shots, big podcast on Spotify, and you know, you've got a number of other people in your network that are also pretty high profile. The assumption might be that having all of that is somehow like helping you in a significant way. I wouldn't necessarily say I could see that it would, but I don't know. Do you think that has had a big impact for you, or is it having a big impact for you?
No, because they kind of do their own things, and if you notice, I don't have them on the channel like all the time, because I could literally, like I was saying to Sim, for instance, when I went to LA recently, originally a couple of years ago, I went to make the move from then to America, but I said to him, when I came back home, I remember I was dating someone at the time. I sat down and I was just like saying to her that I'm here because of you, 1, and 2, I feel like I need to build my own lane, because I could literally just go to America, live in LA, and just go hang every week in Sim's content, every week in Mike Rashid's content. But I said the problem with that is if Sim and Mike move somewhere, their audience might not be loyal to me. They might have only followed me just because I was Sim and Mike's friend, but they might not engage with anything I do. So it's just going to be a dead following. So let me just stay here and work the quote unquote harder route. But it's not really the harder route. It's building the right audience to what you're putting out there. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And just organically grow my way. So if I get to a level where I'm now matched with them and I link up with them, their audience are, oh, I know him from, you know, then we could blend in a lot better than me just go hanging next to my boys who've
I think
already...
I remember, like, because like someone like Simeon, for example, I weirdly came across this guy like a very long time ago. Somebody basically mentioned him to me because he was like a personal trainer in Lewisham, and I was a PT back then as well. So it was just like there weren't that many PTs in Southeast London.
Yeah.
He was just one of them, and somebody mentioned him to me because he like looked the way that he did.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't. I think he was also working in accounting or something at the time, doing something. I don't know what he was doing exactly, but I added him on Facebook.
Yeah.
So he was like a Facebook friend that I had. I never messaged him. I never like reached out to engage with him. And this is before I knew you, and before I even like did all the competing stuff and everything else like that. And then he kind of like followed him for a little while, and then I saw he obviously got like much bigger to a point where he wasn't necessarily of interest to me personally. I didn't know him, and he wasn't doing anything that I was like into either. I just remember at the time Instagram, everybody had each other on Instagram. He had a friend that he used to go training with, this Oriental guy. I can't remember what the guy's name is. And that guy was kind of almost, and no disrespect to that guy because I don't know him and I don't know the context of the situation, but obviously they are genuine friends. That he was the kind of like, there was nothing specific about that guy other than he would be in the same training session as Simeon, and he would be in pictures with Simeon. And then there was probably a point where I'm going to guess that, you know, Simeon sort of moved off and he's not hanging out with his mate as much anymore. So all the people that maybe that guy got as a following, like, I don't know whether they were really engaging with him as an individual. And even to this day, I don't actually follow Simeon. I follow you. Because I know you, and not just that I know you, but you've also done things that have engaged me, not just as a personal acquaintance, but as an actual audience member. You've like, I'm like, okay, I'm interested in what you're posting now. You've, you know, so as a content creator outside of our personal acquaintance, I've kind of engaged with you, whereas I haven't done so much with Simeon because there's only so much I'm going to be like, that guy's got a really good physique and he's really strong, and you know, clearly very good looking and successful, and you know, has a beautiful life. That's great, but there's not much else for me to engage with. Whereas with you, I've had lots of stuff to engage with. So I think that's where I was kind of thinking, because I was like, even if you do know, and I haven't had anyone like massive on this podcast so far. The people that I have had on that have even somewhat of a little bit of a profile, for their episode, I get some traction. But outside of that, it doesn't do much for me. And even in the people that maybe follow the podcast channel off the back of that one episode, like, why would they then be interested in the next guest? Because it's not.
You know what's crazy? Like, sometimes there's a formula with that. So I remember talking to someone, but in regards to Sim and Kev, they're still really, really close. It's just Kev's here, Sim's there. But I trained with Kev recently as well still. So Kev's my guy as well. But what do you call it? There's a formula. It's, alright, for instance here, my channel, if I did like a calculated, I call it like 3 to 4 months, where today I got Sim, next week Mike, next week Free Shots, next week someone like Toast and Cole that I just did Supercell, the following week Rapman. It's just back to back to back to back to back people that are known. By the time you've done like a 4 months of everyone you know who's got kind of a reach, what would happen now is everyone's just like, oh snap, I know this guy's face. Then they start going back to your old content, and then they see that the previous content is more valuable than then it just kind of, you know what I mean, spills over, where it goes back to why I said let me go this lane instead of the other lane. Yesterday I was talking to one of my friends, she works for Google and YouTube, and she was talking about other people I know and saying that some of them need to kind of be wary how they engage with people in YouTube. Like some of them are rude because now they're grown, their pods are there, they're seeing money, etc. And I was just like, I've warned the people you've mentioned in the past about the place you are now. They could just take it, and before you know it, the audience you think you have when you're off the algorithm. So I said, you don't understand. These companies have been championing you, and they've made your life easier. Where in the industry, there's semi-gatekeeping, where now you're seen as a certain place. You've got like a couple 100,000. When someone from America comes and they're like, oh, we want to do like a British rollout, they're filtering to you straight away. You know what I mean? You don't have to redo the legwork, because companies are just pushing their artists, their actors, everything straight to you.
Right.
So now you feel like you're somebody, but don't realize it's the machine behind you that is making you who you are. So it's not your natural network, if you get what I mean. So
you're almost like still an employee.
There you go. And it could just get taken at any given time. So I'm in a better space because I genuinely know these people, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So if I had a machine on top of me now pushing, I would even amplify at a faster point than them, because my relationships are beyond just, all right, you just come on a pod. Like, we actually, like, if you see most guests who are known, there's always a story from 15, 20 years back. Yeah, all the time. There's always a weird connection, you know? So on that level there, I'm lucky that I'm still building, and I know that I would soon be in the same kind of spot as them, but I'm going a different way, where I've kind of clocked as well, seeing my CPM where 100,000 followers on my page, it would be worth more than most YouTubers, 1 million followers, just due to I get between 14 to 17 pound on 1,000 views. A lot of YouTubers, when I talk to them, they're like, oh, no, £3, £4. So I know if I stay within the business side of things and I just compound, the bigger companies, let's say like a Dell, a HP, a Microsoft, might be like, let me run an ad on this guy's channel, give him 30 grand for a month of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of things that people see with YouTubers, yeah, this one might look on paper, he's the bigger YouTuber because he's got a bigger following. But the guys who niche down into certain fields, like the business side of things, they're the ones with the real money. It's just, you know what I mean?
Well, we had that conversation recently, and it's definitely, even though we're having this conversation right now, it's definitely created a bit of a shift in terms of what I'm about to start doing with my socials, and what even I'm about to start doing with this channel. Yeah. I've had time to kind of experiment in the last 6 months and try different things and get a bit of a sense of, like, you know, what all of this is and how do I even want to make it work. And even like I'm 6 months in. For me, doing the first year was just about learning how to do it. I was happy to get 0 views from day 1 to the day 365. If I got 0 views all the way through, I would have been fine, just knowing that I was making it slightly better and better and better. But it's starting to get to that stage where I'm like, I am going to have to start thinking about how to sort of understand the, no pun intended, but the algorithm of success around this stuff. And some of the conversations that you've been presenting in your Instagram stories. And if you're watching this, by the way, I think like Chiso on the surface might not seem like somebody that you would follow based on, if you're not into the surface level stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of times it's running jokes.
It's just jokes, or maybe it's gym stuff or whatever, but there's a lot of insights and thoughts that you run through your stories that people would actually gain a lot of value from.
You know what's crazy, if it was up to me, I'll post like that all the time. But it goes back to, I had this conversation with Wiz, and we both laughed at it, and it was just like, it's annoying because how I'd rather be all the time is not how I can be to reach where I need to be. So it even goes back to jumping on YouTube. Before my mom passed, I remember like, she used to say to me, why do you always want to be in the shadow? Why do you always want to be in the background? Like, you're a person with a very strong network, but I realize you don't like the extra attention. And I said, it goes back to tying it back to where I was talking about the comment section and how I don't really like to read into the comment section and stuff. I feel like the more you put yourself out, the more people have opinions of you, the more you have to kind of hold back. Because sometimes, I want to be petty and just, you know what I mean? But I realize I'm in a position of the younger generation looking at me. So I can't just wild out. So I need to be contained. And going back to all of this, it's like, if I post the serious stuff, engagement dips, but I'm just like, this is where I want to stay. This is my lane. But if I fling in the jokes, then post it, then people pay attention. It's annoying. If I do the lifestyle stuff where I go on holiday and I start posting, or before I used to just do dumb stuff like my old car, open the roof while I'm driving, shut the roof while I'm driving, singing along to a song. People sing Panoramic Roof, posing in a picture outside the car, cover my face with my Rolex, dumb stuff. But I knew it kept the engagement up, and it was annoying because I'm like, to me, this is just petty stuff. But people like see lifestyle. So, for instance, there's two brothers that I watch on YouTube called Onuha Uncensored, and they got a clothing brand called Icon Amsterdam. And I started following their YouTube when it was at 5K. Now it's nearly 100K in less than 7 months. And I said to Wes, this is what people want me to post like. And it's frustrating. They want to see me living in a penthouse, coming out morning, going on a run, jumping in the pool, from the pool straight to a G-Wagon, 254, dealing with merch and all of this. They want to see lifestyle. And I said, if I start moving like that, the channel is going to go. I'm in between posting the business stuff now. So I said, if they see me doing lifestyle, the business stuff will be taken more serious. Unfortunately, that's just how the game works, where some people could post just fitness alone and they'll grow. And even back to the fitness thing, a reason why a lot of the new fitness guys are growing fast is because in real life, they don't know much people. So what I realized about the algorithm, or clocked onto this, was being real life popular messes you up an algorithm. If your friends are not into the same things as you. So what happens now is most of my friends are like the lifestyle, but I'm fitness. My main page, I don't post any training on the feed anymore. I just post it in stories. Reason why, if I post a training reel, 40,000 people following, 150 likes. On my little page, it's got 3,000 people. It's gonna get the same amount of likes. You get what I'm saying? So I might as well just leave it on the little page as fitness dedicated. But now, if I do like a dumb reel where, for instance, fitness cameraman be like, and a girl with a big bum's running, and I'm running behind pretending I'm a cameraman. Before I post it, I'm already in my head saying, all right, that's gonna get about 1,000, 2,000 likes. That's probably gonna get about 100,000 views. I already know, because it triggers the algorithm. This is what they want to see. They want to see me running jokes on holiday. You know what I mean? If I just post a picture of me in front of a car or in a sunny background, instantly, before I post it, I'm like, yeah, it's going to hit about 800 to 1,000, maybe 2,000, depending where I am in the world. So if I'm in LA, that's going to hit 2,000. If I'm in Miami, that's going to hit 2,000. Because they want to see me do lifestyle. And I know this from looking at the analytics on my Instagram between 2018 and 2019, because during those 2 years, I used to travel every 4 to 6 weeks. So I used to see the spike every time. Anytime I was away, I just look at my story, 4,000 views. My story averages about 1,000 to 1,005. But the moment I'm away, I'm like, how do you lot? It's just all of a sudden start watching my stories when you don't normally see, but people want to see something exciting. They love excitement, you know?
Yeah, I think obviously you're making yourself a source of entertainment.
Yeah.
And I've definitely kind of been through this, thinking about what that then tells me about people.
Yeah.
Judging it, I'll put my hands up. I did feel very judgmental about, you know, the superficial nature of what people were gravitating towards and what they were finding entertaining. To kind of going through this journey of like, it's fine actually. All I got to do is pay attention to what people are paying attention to, and if I want to capitalize on that, then maybe give them some of what they want. But
I'll give you an example. Yeah, so I do an event called Summer of Love, and tactically, yeah, I used to go on holiday and come back a week before it. Right. And my engagement would be high. I'd be like in between posting Summer of Love, and I just remember all the time women would message me, "Oh yeah, you're always going on holiday. I need to come along with you. Oh, you should fly me out with you. Blah blah blah." I'm like, "Yeah, come Summer of Love, and we discuss. Bring your friends." And I remember like we would be getting like 800, 1,000, 1,200 people. But the moment I started hiding my lifestyle, the numbers dipped. 500, 600. I don't drink no more. So because they don't see that either, the numbers dipped. Like, I'm the boring guy to them because they want to see me flashy. Like, I used to play tactical games. I used to look through my IG and my phone book and be like, all right, all the guys I know fancy this girl, they fancy that girl, they fancy this girl. I know all of them. Hello? Yeah, what are you doing tomorrow? Nothing. All right, let's all meet up and go shisha. The week before the event. So everyone's seen all these girls on my story. I'm standing, drinking bottles, having fun. It's marketing, because I know next week you're going to be like, oh, shit, I need to come there because they're going to be there. The following week, they're going to be there. All on my section. But I know you didn't come for me. You came because you know the women that are around me. You know, it's all mind games. It's all psychology games. But I've known this from young. I remember like when I was 18, my girlfriend at the time, she bought me 33 Strategies of War. So after I read that book and 48 Laws of Power, it just kind of just taught me, wow, this is what everyone's trying to do. So everything that people try to use on me, I already know how to counter it. So I don't use the book to control people. I just use it to counter everything anyone thinks they know, you know, because I'm just like,
I mean, yeah, it's funny that everyone's so programmable.
Yeah.
And once you do realize that most of what you're being exposed to has some sort of calculation behind it, that you are being driven towards, like, I'm good at noticing patterns, and like I don't know what trainers you wear.
I'm wearing Crocs.
But even that, right? Like I see so many people wearing Crocs. I'm wearing Jordans right now.
You know what's crazy? I was so anti them that one day I was in JD and a guy just said, "Oh, just try them on. They're mad comfy." I said, "Nah, I'm never wearing those." I just walked. I said, "Whoa." I said, "Wait, these are
very comfortable." Yeah.
I'm stuck. I drive everywhere them, walk everywhere them. So like,
it's everybody ends up doing the same thing some way somehow.
Yeah. And
it's almost like there's always some likely strategy that's been placed behind that product or behind that service or behind that idea or campaign that's gotten everybody on board to some extent.
Yeah.
You know, and the more I've engaged with people, the more I'm like starting to see the
patterns,
the consumer patterns, so to speak. It's probably true in all of this as well. And this is a very interesting conversation for me because I'm, like I said, I'm just now getting into this space and thinking, because I wasn't thinking about this before. I was just making episodes, just having conversations that I thought might be interesting. Kind of gotten to see like what things people gravitated towards. What things nobody really cared about. Even started, posting gym stuff recently because I realized I'm not like the strongest guy in the world. I'm not the most muscular, model looking guy in the world or whatever. But for whatever reason, people do actually engage with me doing the training, maybe because I've got, people know.
Even in those lanes as well, we say to people I know, what I realize in fitness here, what works best it's the simplest things. Sometimes it's not the show strength. Like a lot of the biggest pages that I see a lot online are the people who they might just only stick to dumbbells and barbells. It's just simple. Everyone can access those. But some of the machines that I train with, people have never seen before. So when you just keep it at the basic, very, very basic level, it just seems to do you way better, you know?
I've seen some really great fitness accounts that are exactly that. They're so straight to the point and simple and accessible, even the way they word things and there's one guy I decided to follow him. He's an American guy, and he literally makes videos, exercise instructional videos that are literally like, this, all you have to do, you have to step up onto this box, and then you have to step down, and then you step up onto this box, and then you step down. Okay, this is you pushing this away, and then you're pulling it towards you, and then you're pushing this away, and you're pulling it towards you. Like, not exactly those things, I can't remember exactly, but I was like, oh my days, this is like so brilliant. It's so brilliant. Like, anybody watching this right now is feeling like, I now know how to do that exercise. Thank you very much. Whether they go into a different story.
But literally, it's the simplest things work the best.
And that for me, that was very enlightening, very inspiring.